Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof indeed. Once again, Wolfie. Woof indeed. Whoop. How do we get out of here? What have I done? Where am I? Ah, here I am. Let us break out the previous episode's hidey hole. Oh, I saw that little glint of green in the horizon on the distance. Oh, yep, and here he comes. All right, hold on. We gotta... Oh, Lord. All right, we have to, circumnavigate. Not circumnavigate. What's the, circumvent. That was the word I was looking for. All right. Whoa! You're a dodge guy. Receive! The diamond sword of spawn pointiness. All right, so we've taken care of business. Let's secure the hidey hole from the previous episode. This, by the way, is episode 415 of Farlands or Bust, starting out with some action-packed fighting and combat and violence and creeper destruction, I suppose I could say, but we're safe and we are continuing on to the Farlands. Like I said, here in episode 415 of Farlands or Bust, it is Wednesday. Why do I feel like I have so much stuff in my inventory? It is Wednesday, October 8th. Had to look at my notes. It's Wednesday, October 8th, 2014, and we're raising money for Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. We are up to $13,264.19. I want to thank Zach for a very substantial donation. We just passed at the last episode, the beginning of the last episode, we just passed 13,000 mark, and now we're at $13,264. So, of course, thank you, Zach. Didn't quite come up with a question to ask for the episode, but I do appreciate your very generous donation and everybody's continued support and donations to Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. Indeed. Everybody seems to have been aware that last night, technically early morning here for at least my time zone, there was a lunar eclipse. It's a full moon, and there was a lunar eclipse. That is when the Earth gets in between the sun and the moon and casts a shadow upon the moon. And that is a very interesting thing to see indeed. However, like I said, it was at like 5 a.m. my local central time here. I think Australia and the West Coast had a better view of that. Middle of the night, so I didn't get up to see the lunar eclipse. I'm afraid it's known as the blood moon because the way the light refracts or whatever off of the atmosphere of the Earth and whatnot, and if there's a bunch of dust and obviously does that go all the way through? There's a bunch of this feels like somewhere we should just go for adventure. Oh gosh. Spooky noises. Zombies. Okay, never mind. Change your mind. I'm a coward. Let's leave. Just kidding. Sorry. We do not, we didn't mean to disturb your little slumber there, my friend. I suppose I could have taken care of him, but I'm nursing the diamond sword of spawn pointiness so that it may last a little bit longer. But yeah, there was a lunar eclipse known as the blood moon because, like I said, it makes it turn red. Ooh, there's multiples. Is it just because it's dark, or is there an actual spawner? Ooh, there's more light coming out of there. Never mind. Sorry. Oh, now, stay inside. It's sunny out here, and you're gonna burst into flames. I told you were gonna burst into flames, guy. Oh, well. But yeah, sorry. Distractions. The blood moon, it turns red, and also because it's October, ooh, Halloween and whatnot. I don't know if that's the technical reason why it's called that, but... missed that. Got a few pictures from fans on Twitter who were able to be up and see the lunar eclipse. Of course, this is all kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Precursor to the solar eclipse. There are generally, whenever there's going to be a solar eclipse, the full moon cycle before or after it is generally a lunar eclipse, because if you think about the geometry involved, the solar eclipse the moon has to be perfectly lined up where the moon will pass from our perspective and in between us and the sun. On the same, 2 weeks later when the moon is on the opposite side, the geometry is usually right to cause a lunar eclipse. So this is the lunar eclipse prior to the solar eclipse I mentioned a few episodes ago is going to be on the 23rd, October 23rd, and that I am going to take the time to try to see. It's going to be at sunset here for us in the central plains of the United States, the mountain zone and the west coast and Hawaii are going to get the best view of the solar eclipse. It is a partial solar eclipse. The geometry isn't perfect, so the sun isn't fully going to get covered up by the moon. It's going to be a large bite, a cookie bite out of the sun, but that still will be interesting. I still have my solar eclipse glasses. It's still quite a dramatic thing to see the sun start to get blocked by this other object in the cosmos, that being our sun, so you really get a cool perspective on there. So I'll be checking that out for sure. For surezies. The solar eclipse, like I said, coming up on the 23rd. So, I have other news. Space news, as it is. That is my hook, after all, as MC Gamer said in a previous episode of Speed Hookers. Of Speedrunners. We were playing the game mode, Speed Hookers, but anyway, if you don't watch that series, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but you should watch that series. That's pretty fun. It's probably one of the most fun series, aside from Far Lands or Bust, obviously, that I have going on right now, so you should check that out. Actually, a new episode coming up tonight, about 3 or 4 hours after this episode goes up. But yeah, we're talking about space, and I've mentioned before and give you guys heads up for NASA social events. And there is a very tempting, I am incredibly tempted to sign up for this one, but I probably won't. But there is currently, in open registration, a NASA social event for the Orion Flight Test 1. The Orion is the capsule that is being developed by NASA, the manned capsule. This isn't a manned flight, this is just a test of kind of a test bed for the Orion capsule that is supposedly the one that's going to be used for the future of space exploration. That is the possible asteroid redirect mission, possible manned mission to Mars, or perhaps the moon, even though they're kind of poo-pooing going back to the moon for whatever reason. But yeah, the Orion first test flight of the Orion capsule is going to take place on December 4th, and this NASA social event is due to take place the 3rd and the 4th at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And the reason, first of all, it's kind of history, yes, that this is the first flight of the Orion capsule. It's going to fly up, orbit twice, and then they're going to deorbit it and test its reentry and recovery. Basically, like a first flight would be. So supposedly, if you do get chosen for this NASA social, you would be there for the launch of this spacecraft, and in the future 10, 20 years, say, when they start landing people on Mars with the Orion capsule, perhaps not, who knows, but you could say, I was there for the first launch of that capsule. So that's pretty cool, but it's also tempting because it's going to be launched on a Delta IV Heavy, which is right now the largest rocket in the world. It is the largest and highest capacity rocket currently operating. Not as powerful as a Saturn V, but it is it's an incredible rocket. It's basically, you have the Delta IV, and they strap 2 more Delta IVs to the side of it. It's quite literally the basic model that I use for all of my Kerbal Space Program spacecraft rockets. It's like a main stage and then 2 more main stages right next to each other. It's gigantic, and it will soon be replaced, dethroned as the largest rocket when the SpaceX has its Falcon Heavy, which quite literally is a Falcon 9 rocket with 2 more Falcon 9s strapped to the side. And then the eventual NASA Space Launch System, the SLS, is going to be even more powerful than a Saturn V, which is going to be the rocket that will eventually launch the Orion capsule and future missions related to that. So it is very tempting to go see the largest rocket that currently exists on planet Earth launch, and with the added bonus of it's the Orion capsule launch, unmanned, of course, but that is very tempting, and registration is currently open. Go to nasa.gov/social. I'll put a link in the video description if I remember, hopefully. But registration is currently open and closes at 5 p.m. on Sunday, October 19th. So I would highly recommend, if you're at all interested, this is not one you want to miss, seeing a launch like this. Let's go to sleep, and we'll continue in the morning. And giant rocket launches-ness. But yeah, the NASA socials, for those of you who don't know, are basically you have to sign up, and you get randomly selected by NASA. There's usually only 50 people get selected to participate in this. It's free. The event is free. You're basically invited and given almost press access, behind-the-scene access, and you're given the closest viewable of, you're as close to the launch as is humanly possible for any member of the public. Only like safety crews and members of the actual NASA get to be any closer for safety purposes. From the press site, you're, I believe, about 3 miles away from the launch site. So it's a very cool behind-the-scenes thing. The first day, you get a tour of behind-the-scenes stuff at NASA. Usually you get an up-close view of the rocket on the launch pad, which, as a Delta IV Heavy, is going to be quite an impressive sight. You get to view the VAB, and there's perhaps astronauts talking and people working on the mission. Actually, when I was there for the SpaceX NASA social, they actually had in the VAB the working what they were working on making the Orion capsule. It actually might be the capsule that they're going to launch that I saw. It was kind of in its kind of bare bones shell before it was completely built. But yeah, highly recommended. And I say for me it is tempting, but I'm very much still, I'm not saying that I'm going to attend this or even sign up for it, but I'm very much leaning against it, mostly because of the things that are going on IRL right now. In the beginning of December, I think there would still be a lot of dust in the air, and I'd still be wanting a lot of dust to settle, as it were. So shipping off to Florida would not be the most convenient thing for me to do at that time. And of course, like I say, the event is free. You're invited and given press access and all these tours and stuff and viewing the launch for free, but you have to get yourself there. You have to pay for your flights, your hotels, your food, or whatever other accommodations you may need for this weekend, or these 2 days, I suppose I should say, at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So that's kind of the caveat, but still a good deal in my opinion for the two I've been to. So yeah, I'm personally can't say that I would commit to go to this, but it is probably in the last couple of years the most tempting of all the NASA socials I have heard come up recently. So I would highly recommend such a thing if you are in the area. Like I said, the registration closes on the 19th, October 19th. So if any of the Farlanders out there do sign up and do attend, I would be very interested in hearing the stories. Very interesting indeed. But yeah, we talked about some space stuff there. I was running out of questions from donors when you donate to Child's Play charity at farlandserbust.com. I've switched topics, by the way. We're off the NASA social, the space launch thing. Talking now about Farlands Bust. When you donate to Child's Play charity at farlandserbust.com, you can leave a comment, and there you can leave a question. And I generally try to answer questions given there, and kind of running out of them. We've had pretty good, like I've said, donations here, and the continued support for Child's Play charity, but not so many questions coming through with them, which is okay. It's fine. You don't have to ask a question. Obviously, your generosity is appreciated for the charity. regardless, but we're running out of questions. So I did, right before I started recording this episode, I asked Twitter for some questions, and boy, howdy, were there many that I will simply not answer. But yeah, just, you know, a lot. Whenever you ask the internet to ask you questions, very original, all of you. The 40 duck-sized horses question comes up about 3 or 4 times. Very original. Just keep up the originality score right there, and various things like that. But yeah, I have quite a few there. I still have some leftover Patreon questions from patrons, but I do want to first answer a question I did get from a donor, Bacon Robot. Woof, Bacon Robot. You want some bacon, Wolfie? Have some bacon. It's not a bacon robot, but it's pork, shaped like a bone. Woof. Bacon Robot asks, are you a fan of any sports? Or follow any sports teams? Sports ball. No. Not so much. My family and being from Chicago, baseball was kind of a big thing as far as our family is concerned. We are Southsiders, White Sox, all day, every day. Don't give me no Cubs. Boo, you stink. So yeah, definitely White Sox fans, but I don't follow them as much. I definitely followed them in 2003 when they won the World Series. Ooh, it's a heart. Heart-like, sort of. Neat. Heart-like. So yeah, White Sox, and I recently, the season just ended. Are the playoff? They're not called playoffs. The World Series isn't going on right now. I think they're going for the pennant or yes, the playoffs. The Major League Baseball playoffs, I suppose, is what you could call them. I'm not sure the specific name. Sports are going on right now, but Paul Konerko is kind of one of the last players from the World Series team that were part of the team, and he recently retired, and there was a big thing, big ceremony retiring his number and whatnot from the White Sox. So he was a really cool player. He's kind of he was a really good player, obviously, also, but I think kind of his personality, as opposed to some other guy who recently retired in the New York team who shall not be named, kind of a little bit more, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Never mind. But yeah, Paul Konerko is always kind of a quiet, kind of kept his head down, but was like an excellent player, excellent first baseman, and kind of was always seen. He was the team captain after that, and always kind of seen as kind of the leader of that. It was 2003 they won the World Series, right? I think so. But after that, I was a little bit disappointed. You know, they won the World Series. They had throughout the entire season a winning record, which I don't know if that has ever been done by a team that has won the World Series, is to have an above 500 record, wins versus losses. They never went below that throughout the entire season, and they won all the series up until then. It was an exciting World Series. A lot came down to game-winning grand slams and crazy stuff like that you jump out of your seat for. But I was really disappointed. I'm really disappointed as far as baseball, but all other major sports, your footballs, your basketballs, your hockeys, your whatever, and how much of a business they are. And it was no more apparent than after the White Sox won the World Series. They went and split up the team and started trading guys and selling off guys, and it was kind of like, how could we have, there was such fandom around this group of baseball players, and they were friends. There was, like I said, Paul Konerko and I'm forgetting all their names now because they were just around for that year, and they were an excellent team. They won the World Series. Why do you go and start selling them off and trading them off? It's why don't you try to win the World Series again with the same team? They're clearly very good together. But there's Paul Konerko. There was, who did my sister liked? The shortstop, or third baseman. See, I'm forgetting all their names now. Anyway, it was a good group. of guys for the team, and it's really unfortunate that we can't have these any sort of like long-lasting franchises and teams, because after the season is over, they go trade them. Like, they traded for like Ken Griffey Jr. It's like, okay, for a business decision, yes, I could see how they wanted Ken Griffey Jr. to sell more seats at the ballpark and make more money. And I could see why Ken Griffey Jr. wanted to come to the White Sox, because they just won the World Series, and he'd never won a World Series and wanted to win a World Series. But why? Why did you trade away one of your outfielders who was like clutch during the World Series, and somebody else and however much money for this other team for an old guy who's going to retire anytime and not really going to provide much for your team? And it was very frustrating when they broke up the World Series White Sox team literally right after they won the World Series. It's just kind of a sour note on professional sports, so I don't really follow the sports balls. I never liked football just in general, especially as of late, as everybody's starting to learn that the entire league is kind of run by a bunch of jerk butts. That's right, I said it, jerk butts. Who really make some terrible decision as far as the safety and the demeanor and public facing. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Eschewing the topic, but yeah, in general, sports not so much. I like auto racing, but I don't follow NASCAR or any. I don't even follow like Formula One. There's a whole shakeup about people are moving to different teams. Again, it's about the business as opposed to being about the let's go to sleep. There's zombies about. And that's about as long as you will ever hear KurtJMac talking about sportsness. Ow! Speaking of sports, just twisted my ankle. Put me on the DL. Your fantasy football team is going to be screwed because I just twisted my ankle. Take that! I also don't understand what that's all about. Fantasy leagues and... Like, what? It's just kind of complicated gambling, apparently, is all I'm aware of, but what? Never saw any point to that, but... I am an old curmudgeon when it comes to stuff like that, but anyway. So yeah, that was a question from a donor, a bacon robot. Let's look at some of these crazy questions we got from Twitter. Somebody asked that I nearly started talking about it, but got distracted right away. Why does your compass not point north? Yeah, that was the thing. Something happened. I took damage or fell or something, and I got distracted. I think Wolfie took damage and forgot to finish my thought about the compass. Somebody had asked, why are you walking south? I thought you were walking west. For those of you who don't know, this is even the case in current versions of Minecraft. The compass, when you craft a compass, it points back to your original start of the world spawn point. It doesn't point north. It doesn't point any which way other than back to your original spawn point. It doesn't point to your last bed, even if that bed still acts as my spawn point, like the bed we just slept in. I should use a boat in this situation, should I not? It doesn't point to any cardinal direction. It points back to your original spawn point. So, from the get-go, even though I know we're heading west, and we can very plainly see based on the sunset, as long as I am walking away from the direction the compass is pointing, that means I am walking away from my original spawn point, which is generally not exactly 0, 0, but it is around 0, 0 as far as the coordinates are concerned. So that is something that every Minecrafter should know. I know with the advent of maps and things, perhaps compasses are not as important as they used to be. It was a big deal. I remember playing the game that we didn't have. I remember walking 2 miles to school in the snow, up hills, both ways. I remember playing the game and there were no compasses. Before there were compasses, and if you got lost, or if something happened and you got misdirected, and you didn't have any way to find your way back to your spawn point if you had made your base there, which is what normally would be recommended. So the only way you could get back is probably by killing yourself and respawning. So yeah, that is how the compass in Minecraft works and has always worked, and even to this day continues to work, even though I know we're using a very old version of the game, Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. That is how compasses work. Of course, now you use compasses probably most often to make maps or things like that, not really to hold them in your inventory and see where you're located. Wolfie, that's my boat. Leave it for me. Whoop. But yeah, that's how the compass works. Thank you for reminding me, and I apologize if anybody was like ready to learn about compasses and then was left on the edge of their seat a couple episodes ago when I got distracted when talking about that. Another Twitter question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I think at one point I had a quote-unquote Hawaiian pizza, which is generally ham and pineapple on pizza. I thought it tasted good, but when I get pizza, it's generally I do not do the pineapple stuff. I normally get more your sausage, green peppers maybe, onion. Sometimes pepperoni, depending on the situation. I tend to get more of a standardized pizza design, if you will. Oh, careful, wolf. Oh, that's fine. Boing. Ooh, look at these wolves. Look at all these wolves, Wolfie. Woof, 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 woof. They're all shaking off. Shake it off, guys. Shake it off. Woof. But, yeah, I probably once in my entire life I had Hawaiian pizza, that is to say, with the pineapple. But, no, it tasted, I remember it being like, oh, this actually isn't that bad. But not something I would go out of my way to order. So thank you for that question. Favorite ice cream flavor? Not that much into ice cream anymore. I'm not sure I had a favorite either. But I would probably say like Rocky Road I liked, or like caramel, however you want to say it. Tomato, caramel. Caramel turtle kind of thing. Turtle sundae, I guess, is sometimes what it's called. It's got the walnuts and whatnot in it. So yeah, either of those. I stay away from the fruity or the sweet, overly sweet. Certainly hot fudge sundae, peanuts is sort of a thing. But yeah, I don't eat that much ice cream that much anymore, if at all. Rapid fire Twitter questions. When will you launch your vlog channel? You missed it. I did already. Last week, or over the weekend. It's at KurtIndeed. YouTube.com/KurtIndeed. There are no videos up there. Perhaps that's what you're asking. When will I post videos? In the coming weeks. Certainly before the end of the month. And in the coming weeks, I'll probably start off with the standard, hello, this is a vlog channel. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is who I am. Thank you for joining, and this is what the plan is kind of video. Probably do an office tour, kind of like, or office home tour maybe, like Beef did on his vlog, on his channel. Probably do that really quick, and then we will use that to finally reveal the curtain on the curtain on what changes lie ahead for old KurtJMac, the Iron Curtain. Yeah, speaking of that, I was really going back and forth about what I should name this vlog channel. I was like, I thought maybe Iron Curtain. No, I thought of making some sort of pun around the word Kurt. Like using Kurt, C-U-R-T, as a way of speech. A way. What's kind of the definition of that? Like, oh, I'm going to be very curt with you. That is to say, very like short and abrupt, and perhaps a little bit mean, I suppose, is when you say somebody is talking curt. Kind of like Frank. I don't know why they also double as names, but I'll be Kurt with you, or, you know, I was trying to think of something like that to be kind of a goofy title for a vlog channel. Hey, no. Kind of like Daily Grace was kind of a play on words on her name or something. Whoops, I did not pick up that water as I had intended to do. And now I'm going to drown in it. Good lord. Okay, get out of that. Shake yourself off. It appears that Wolfie might have made it there unscathed as well. Yeah. Good job. But now I need some water. I need some water. So yeah, I was really playing around, and I'm like, well, maybe I should just name it something completely different, but I figured I went with Kurt Indeed, because it's something familiar. I know, I don't want it to be too separate. It's familiar for everybody who knows me from the gaming channel, obviously, but it's also it's not something exclusively an inside joke for anybody who watches the gaming channel, which is why I kind of wanted to keep those a little bit separate, like I mentioned before, kind of separate. Not separate identities. I'm still going to be the same person, but kind of separate. Kind of keep things separated for marketing purposes, I suppose. And a lot of people say, oh, you have so many subscribers on your gaming channel, just upload them here. I'm like, well, no, I kind of want that's kind of where I would draw the line. Just like people in the past have also suggested, well, maybe keep one channel for just Farlands or Bust entirely, just have a Farlands or Bust channel, and then another channel for your other variety gaming stuff. I'm like, well, no, that maybe isn't necessary, and it does seem like a lot of people enjoy Farlands or Bust and also my other gaming stuff. So, but as far as like a vlog thing is concerned, yeah, I could see definitely that's why I wanted to kind of separate those things. Maybe we'll see. Kind of a test here. We'll see if it was a bad idea or not. We will see indeed. But yeah, that is the vlog channel, Kurt Indeed, youtube.com/Kurt Indeed. All one word. It's easy to spell too. You always want to find something that's easy to spell. Don't need numbers or underscores or anything crazy like that. So that's where that is. But yeah, the sun is setting. There are quite a few more questions here from Twitter, but I suppose I'll keep those locked and loaded for the next episode if I need them. And I do appreciate those of you who replied to that and gave me some questions, especially the questions that actually made sense and were not just questions for the sake of asking questions. You know who you are. Yep, have a seat. Well done. Good job. Yeah, just be right there. All right, so let's make this end of the episode hidey hole here. Also, I suppose you'll see in the end slate here that I did, speaking of launching things, I did launch a new Vigigame on the channel. Sort of a new Vigigame, but yet another console game through the Xbox One. Starting to play Forza Horizon 2. A little bit different than Forza Motorsport 5 that I was playing for 5 or 6 episodes, but Forza Horizon 2 we started to play, and I've actually got quite a few episodes of that in the bank. I'm hoping to be able to keep recording those just in case things go worst case scenario with the stuff that's happening in the background IRL. I at least have some videos scheduled through the end of the month, even if it's a minor series. And perhaps not that many views, at least just to maintain. Oh, I gotta make my beds. I'm like looking for a bed. Just to maintain my presence upon the internets and the YouTubes. So yeah, launched Forza Horizon 2 yesterday, so there'll be a link here in the end slate of this episode, so check that out. I'd really appreciate, it really helps to have the feedback and the likes and the views on a brand new series like that. It really does. You have no idea how much that it means so much to me. But yeah, what else would mean so much to me is if you check out farlandsorbust.com and consider donating to Child's Play charity. Continue getting that number up and up. Like I said, we recently passed $13,000. Going to a great cause, and yeah, I believe we're set here for episode 415 of Farlands or Bust. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Spooky noises. Zombies. Okay, never mind. Change my mind. I'm a coward. Let's leave.